sprint technique analysis we'll be going over. So first, kind of some basic technique as defined by the NCSA. So first, like when you're starting and accelerating, you'll start in a 4-point staggered stance. You want the shin of the back leg essentially parallel to the ground. That's a good way of knowing you're kind of set up correctly. From there, when you start, you want to rapidly extend both legs, driving your feet into the ground. This is what you need the most. Um, Really, just the most force in general, but especially force to need both leg to both get your center of mass of your body higher, as well as create enough force to accelerate and begin to get moving. And from there, when your legs are in the swing phase, driving back forward, they should be low and barely even clearing the ground. Lifting them higher is just kind of wasting energy. The stride length should start off really short. Um, the stride finishing should be high. And then from there, as you pick up speed, the stride length increases and the stride frequency decreases as you approach that maximum velocity. The feet should be contacting the ground slightly behind the body center of mass, helping really just drive that hip extension since you're trying to create a net positive force to help accelerate you. The trunk should be leaning forward as well, so the shoulders are kind of in front of the hips if you look at it from a side point of view, and the head should stay in line with the rest of the spine. And then from there, at that point, once you've achieved maximum velocity, the shoulders should be stacked above the hips instead of leaning forward. You're kind of just basically standing straight up. The head still stays in line with the spine. The arms should move the same rate as the legs. The ground contact time should be short, basically reducing the braking forces and increasing your stride frequency. And then from there, we'll go to our first video. So you can see we got these two gentlemen here ready to go. So a couple of things we can see. I'll go back and restart it. That guy on the left, we got farther from the camera, obviously gets off to a better start. I think part of it is just because he reacts quicker. We can also see he does a really good job of keeping his strides short. So compared to other guys, you can't see as well, but I'd be willing to bet his strides are a bit longer and not as frequent. As he gets beat here off the blocks pretty good. But I feel like their top speeds are pretty similar. You can't see as well, but you can kind of see him get that transition from acceleration into that top speed. You can see he kind of leans out and be able to start standing up straighter. One of the things to always let get back in a start position. Let me pause it here. We can see they're both probably, their hits are probably a little bit higher than they should be. I'd recommend both of them getting hits a little bit lower so their shins are more in line with the ground. You see they're up a little bit, but not bad overall. Other than that, you see their heads are staying pretty in line with their spine. This guy is actually faster. He keeps his head down a bit too much towards the end, but other than that, they both did well. They're both pretty quick. Now moving on to our second video. That cooks it pretty quick. Turn that off. So a couple of things to note. The only really flaw I can see from him, you can't see as well. We don't have a side view, especially from the start. But you can see there's a little bit. He has a little bit too much lateral displacement those first couple steps. Other than that, he does really well. You can see he gets into his maximum velocity phase really quick, which is what you want, obviously. The longer you take to get maximum velocity, the more you should get beat in a race. And from here, you can see his arms are moving well. He's doing a good job getting his heels really close to his butt, which is helping him get through to that finish. And just in that pause frame I had as well, you can see he's not spending much time on the ground. Most of his time is up in the air. He's really just getting those feet off the ground really quick. And yeah, look at that bend in the leg. That's really good for helping drive that hip through faster, so it'll keep that overall just moment arm shorter. Yeah, 10-2, yeah, he's quick. He's got good technique. And our final video, this one's pretty cool because you have a bunch of guys racing. It kind of gives you a bunch of guys to be able to look at their technique. Overall, you can see, I think this guy in the orange is a really good example. Probably, I mean, he wins the race. He doesn't get off to the fastest start. I don't know if that's because he started slower. I think he just had a bad reaction time mostly. You see, as soon as he gets out there, he's cooking everybody. And the biggest thing is, yeah, look, that he'll right up to the butt. That's helping increase that stride frequency. You can see his legs. He got a great turnover with his legs. He moves him pretty quick. Some other guys. Look at this guy. Pick on this guy closest here. He's not the greatest start, but other than that, you see he's getting down pretty far, especially at the acceleration. You see his shins are um, pretty vertical at the start of the acceleration phase compared to the ground. Like you see right there. Well, did a bad job of it. Oh my gosh. Okay, whatever. It won't let me scroll. He's almost leaning back too much. Yeah, guy in orange is just kind of mogging everybody. Other than that, you can see all these guys do pretty well, though. I would say you see a lot of them once they get into that max velocity phase. They gotta stand up a bit straighter. I think some of them are almost. I think especially this guy here in the black. You see him pretty well. I think he's almost starts puffing his chest too much at the very end. Other than that, guy in the orange is his textbook. He kind of just killed everybody. You see he almost like eased up into the end. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching.